Okey doke. Well, here we go, man. It's Thursday, don't you know?
I do. I didn't know before you told me because I'm bad with time on both a practical and a conceptual level. But
And the fact I'm holding the Thursday night lucky
you're holding the
dipper.
Thursday night drum.
Hello, everybody. We're Ben and I from Ben and Glenn from the Movie Monday podcast.
Ben and I.
And we're here to do lucky dips as we do every single week. We just pluck movie titles out of this and talk about them. Where it goes, no one knows.
Let's just do reactions instead of talking about the movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll just do reactions
Okay.
to the Angel Eyes.
I love Angel Eyes. I saw that theatrically.
I believe I did as well.
And because back then, Jennifer Lopez did Angel Eyes and Enough around the same time. And there were two movies I thought, fuck, this chick can act.
And now I'm trying to think. Funnily enough, I was because I've got myself a new television. It's a Samsung TV, and it has Samsung TV, which is like their own series of like on-demand VOD channels. It's really weird.
Yep.
And one of them is a music video channel, and I was watching Janet Jackson's "That's the Way Love Goes"
With Jennifer Lopez.
and Jennifer Lopez is in it.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my god,
That's where she started before Sabrina.
Yeah,
She was a dancer.
yeah.
Angel Eyes is the one with is it Vincent Caviezel? I don't know how to pronounce his surname. The guy from
Jim Caviezel.
Jim Caviezel, I should say. Jesus. Let's just
Yeah,
call
that's
him
right.
Jesus.
And he's a bum.
And is it Jeremy Sisto? I think.
Jeremy Sisto is her brother, and Victor Argo is her dad.
But Jeremy calls her a cunt. Do you remember?
Yeah.
I was shocked. This is back before the C-bomb was dropped in movies, and I remember going, "Oh my god!"
The funny thing is like this. I don't think this movie would be made today because it's all about family violence.
Oh yeah.
And Victor Argo.
So was Enough.
Yeah. That's right.
Or
Enough
was
was more.
Was
of
Enough the one with him with Jeremy? I can't remember because they were both about.
No, I think they were both. But I think wasn't Enough more like a Sleeping with the Enemy type.
Yeah,
one?
because it had Billy Burke or whatever from Twilight as the abusive. Was it Billy Burke? Anyway, getting lost in
Billy Campbell.
Yes,
the Rocketeer.
Yes, Billy Campbell.
Yeah, that's right. And which was a big wake up because prior to that he'd only been Heroes.
Yeah, that's right.
Like I used to love him in what's that TV series he did with Ali Walker, Moonlight in Miami or whatever. Where they're private detectives.
But it was shocking when he beat the shit out of.
He beat the shit. Yeah.
But yes, Angel Eyes is it the gist of it is the car accident, and she befriends the survivor of the car accident. And
But she's got her own. Yeah, her relationship with him is damaged by the fact that she hates her father because she used to beat her mother, and she doesn't like her mother because her mother kept going back.
Yeah,
and it's now coming through that Jeremy Sisto, her brother, is also beating his wife.
Absolutely, and she confronts him, and that's when he calls her that C-bomb. But it's a powerful film. I still enjoy it. It's been probably about 3 years since I've watched it. I reckon.
Yeah, I think I haven't seen
add
it
that
since
to the
video
list
store
of
days.
to the list of movies I must revisit.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Well done.
Thank you. I think I picked well.
Well,
it's like we won the lottery with that one. It's a movie we've both seen.
Let's react to Ghost Dad
with Bill Cosby.
Directed by Sidney Poitier.
So the funny thing is, I don't remember Ghost Dad. I remember Leonard Six.
Leonard Part 6.
Leonard Part 6.
And wondering where the fuck was Part 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
I really want to watch that again.
Well, I saw this at the cinemas and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I've revisited maybe 5 years ago. It's not very good.
Yep.
But to be honest, like we can talk about Bill Cosby and his, and the horrible, person.
I put the pills in the people.
But there's that documentary. I think it's Amazon Prime. It's called "We Need to Talk About Bill Cosby," right? And it dives into his career and how prolific and important he was as an entertainer, right?
Yeah.
So it's directed by a black guy that's addressing the actual issue of like my black hero turns out to be the devil
monster.
himself, right? But he says, but we can't ignore the fact that the good he put into the world. Yeah. And so this documentary, it's a series. It's very fascinating the way it separates the monster from the artist. And when you look at the artist, wow, I didn't know how prolific this guy was. Like did you remember stunningly?
Is it Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back with Chris Rock goes? Bill Cosby did Fat Albert with nothing but a ruler and a pencil, and it was excellent.
Well, this doco goes into Fat Albert and being one of the most culturally significant programs of all time, next to Sesame Street.
I used to love Fat Albert, and I always thought that Fat Albert was the guy from Wildcats. Like that's
Wasn't he
what I
in
thought
Police
it was.
Academy as well?
He was in Police Academy, yeah. I always thought it was that guy. Like it was a cartoon series of that guy.
But it was the first cartoon to
Fuck,
fully
I should have put Wildcats on my.
to fully for Tuesday.
Tuesday's video, yeah.
Yeah, no, that Fat Albert was the first movie to culturally represent ghetto kids.
Ghetto kids, yeah.
And that sounds like a slur, ghetto kids, but that's what they were calling themselves.
Yeah.
That's what they were. Anyway, Ghost Dad is just that's the end of his film days, and
Well, I like that after Ghost Dad, Fred Olin Ray did. I'm pretty sure it's Fred Olin Ray, or it could be Dave Dakota. Did Ghost Mum with D. Wallace Stone and Ghost Dog. Like they did a bunch of them.
yeah, Ghost Mum any relation to this? Was it
I think it was a Ghost Mum, or did she the Invisible Mum?
I think it might be. Remember all the Invisible movies? There's
Yeah, there's a lot of
a
them.
bunch of Invisible movies.
But there's got to be Ghost. There's got to be Ghost Mum, surely. Ghost Mom. Got to spell it correctly. Gene Stapleton. That's from 1993. Yes, I must have been thinking about Invisible Mum.
Wow, there's a
let's
whole
have a
other
look.
thing, man.
Yeah, I've got my franchises mixed
There
up.
were so many mum movies back then.
Yeah, my stepmom was all those
Alien
stepmom movies.
yeah,
My
that's
stepmom
right.
was a werewolf.
Yep.
And then there was all of the the Brazzers ones. That were Dee Wallace's Invisible Mum,
There you go,
1996.
that's it. Cool.
And Invisible Mum 2.
The Invisible Kid. Do you remember the Invisible
And
Kid?
Invisible Kid.
It's great.
I remember the video cover. Yes,
I need
great.
to rewatch that one. That's bringing me right
Is
back
it? Yeah,
to my
it is
childhood.
Fred Olin Ray
Yep. All right.
directed it.
Take a deep dive into there, mate. Pull out your next
my
one.
turn.
You put in a request last week and you haven't picked up on it. Dive deeper.
Oh. Oh my god.
It's full of Skittles. Come on.
That's a big no-no for me. It's worth it. House with clock in the walls. Oh my god. I didn't know they were in there.
Yeah, I thought I put some on top too. Let's take them away from you for the time being because you'll just keep going back for more, and it's not a mukbang video. What was that? Oh, The House with the Clock on its Walls. This was essentially like a Goosebumps movie. It was directed by Eli Roth, his first family-friendly
Family film.
adventure. Kate Blanchett, Jack Black, and Kyle MacLachlan. This was a banger. I loved it.
The thing about this, the thing that upset me about this movie, not really upset me, but I don't know. I can't remember. As a kid, I saw this movie. It terrified me.
Mhm.
And I don't know if it was part of a series or...
Hang on, no.
If it was a
This
movie-
movie as a kid or the one you're talking about? Because this is a new movie.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, because I don't know if this was based on another... There's an earlier House of Clock on the Walls that was like a
Okay.
Wonderful World of Disney kind of episode or
Yeah, right.
something. But this movie was all about these kids who live in this small town, and there's a cemetery where there's this there's a kind of local legend about this evil woman that is buried in the cemetery that would came out and killed people or did something. I can't remember much of the details.
Whatever it is, I like it.
But there's the kid. His uncle and aunt own like a clock shop,
Right.
and all the clocks all go off at 12 o'clock. All of the clocks go off. But they do something thinking it's a joke. They do something that raises the evil woman from the grave, and there's something to do with the clocks. Has to stop it. And I always thought it was House, because I think if it's not based on a movie, it's based on a book. House
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
Clock on the
yeah.
Walls. That's because of all the clocks. That's what I thought that movie was. And when I watched this movie, I was like, no, it's totally not it.
Yeah.
And I can't for the life of me remember what. I can't even remember if it's real or it was like one of those vivid dreams that I still remember to this day. And I'm like,
Elements of what you're saying ring a bell, but the story
Yeah.
itself doesn't. We'll have to look into that. But I liked House with the Clock on its Walls, and it came out, like I said, around the time that the Goosebumps movie came out, also with Jack Black, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. And I thought
that
this
was
is,
yeah.
I thought this is a great time to be a kid because for a long time there, kids were really being deprived of scary movies, and these movies. And Eli Roth, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the guy, but who better to actually dive into kids horror than a guy that makes hardcore adult horror?
Yeah.
You know, because he obviously has the same childhood we did. You know, all these great introductory gateway horror films. You know,
Indeed. Yeah.
So yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoyed this one.
I think this is also probably the first film that I've pulled out where the title of the film actually used up the whole the whole strip of paper.
Yeah.
It's actually there we go.
Would you like to do the honors of the bonus one?
I think it's isn't it your turn? Didn't I just
Yeah, I was
do?
giving you opportunity for
you're
another
gonna-
Skittle.
Yeah, no.
No, all right.
I don't want to ruin my figure
Okay, fair
with
enough.
too many Skittles.
Fair enough. That was a waste of money.
I feel so bad. I started that diet a week.
You're not going to feel
early.
bad now. We're going to react to this one. Color of Night.
Jane March and Bruce Willis's.
This is the Rudy Nudie movie.
I remember being described on Triple R's Fast Fictions as Bruce Willis's Charpignon-like head. His mushroom. Is that what they call it? Charpignon? Those mushrooms?
Yeah. Oh, that's just champagne.
Champignon-like head. I thought you would. I thought if there's anything you know how to pronounce, it's the name of mushrooms.
Don't get the wrong impression, people. But that's a funny image because he's bobbing in a spa, which is a bit like a crock pot, and that's where you throw your champignon mushrooms.
Yeah.
That's all I remember from this movie is some sex and a spa.
Leslie Ann Warren's in it, I remember.
Yeah, I know, but it's a movie I never dove into. I liked a good sex thriller back then, but the one I really liked and no one else did was Body of Evidence with Willem Dafoe and Madonna.
No, that movie is great. Jeannie Triplehorn, not Jeannie Triplehorn, Juliana Moore.
But it was like the low rent Basic Instinct.
Yeah.
And I liked it more than Basic Instinct.
But remember, the Color of Night got made because Jane March was like the underage kind of love interest of, I think it's John Lone in The Lover. And that was like a salacious hit.
Mm.
And so, well, she's hot right now. We need to get her into an American
Sex her up.
erotic movie. Who better than to pair her with than balding Bruce Willis?
But he was still sexy balding Bruce Willis.
He was still, he was still very much he was very much Die Hard 3 Bruce Willis.
Yeah, he had some hair.
He was still,
Well, this would have been Pulp Fiction-ish times. Just after Pulp Fiction, maybe.
Oh, really? I thought it would be before.
Before, maybe a year before. It was 93, I think.
It was before he had his big kind of comeback, I think.
And then Pulp Fiction's 94.
Because this was one of the movies, because it was, I think, kind of universally panned.
Oh, it was. It was considered one of the biggest bombs of the year, and it was pretty much detrimental to his career.
Yeah. Although you look at it and you're like, where would they have spent all the money? Because it's like a direct-to-video erotic thriller.
But it did go theatrically.
No, they promoted it like a big budget Hollywood film, but at its heart, it is
it's a B movie,
direct to video, erotic thriller.
And I do remember, because like you said, they flogged it. I remember the video cover being a big clamshell, and they really went to town on just
big
putting that image
clam
out there. You go into the video store and there were posters. Who directed this?
Ruben Blades is in it as well. Scott Bakula.
Scott Bakula, jeez.
Brad Dourif. Lance Henriksen.
I mean, I need to
Kevin J. O'Connor.
I need to go back and watch it because that's a great cast.
Eric LaSalle.
And the director.
Catherine Willoit. Shirley Knight.
All I want to know is the director.
Someone whose name I don't recognise. Richard Rush.
Richard Rush.
Written by Billy Ray.
What's Richard Rush made?
And Matthew Chapman.
He's done
Richard
Poison
Rush.
Ivy 4.
The Stuntman.
Return to
that's what he's known for.
Two in Junction.
It's not always what they directed. So he did make The Stuntman. Freebie and the Bean. Getting Straight. He did some pretty good films.
Wow.
Then the rest of it, I think, is he directed episodes of TV like The Mod Squad and Thunder Alley and Fickle Finger of Fate.
Oh, dearie. All right. I'm going to sign off with a Skittle here. Thank you for watching, everybody. Hope we've inspired you to go and watch some of these movies. What's the takeaway from this video, Ben?
Be careful how you text. No, that's the last video.
It's the last video.
Yeah, I don't know.
There you go.
Ta.
See you later, everybody. Until next week.